When Google Earth first came out, we all amused ourselves endlessly looking for our addresses and popular destinations. But for some, they found really strange things that led to solving some long-forgotten mysteries, all with Google Earth. These people have found hidden compounds and secretive hideaways. So in this video, we're going to take a closer look at 7 mysteries solved by Google Earth. Number 7. Evolutionary Discovery. The progression of human evolution is one of the greatest mysteries in the history of mankind, one that has perplexed scientists for centuries. So you might be surprised to find that of all things, we've gotten a step closer to the truth thanks to a fancy map. So back in 2007, Professor Lee Berger was using the very new Google Earth software to explore the Cradle of Humankind in South Africa. This place has gotten its name for its massive deposits of early human fossils and artifacts, dating back as far as 35 million years ago. After spotting some interesting caves in the cradle on Google Earth, Berger set out with his son to investigate, and they found more than they could have possibly expected: bones belonging to an undiscovered species of the human ancestry. The new hominid, called Australopithecus sediba, had many similar features to modern humans, but a cranium just 1/3 the size. It suggested an extra stage in human evolution that we weren't aware of before, so that's one point to Google in the search for the origin of the human species. Number 6. Italian tax dodgers. One enterprising man in Italy wanted to get away with more than a little fraud when he sold his Sardinian villa. He told the Guardia di Finanza, the IRS equivalent in Italy, that he had sold it for just 280,000 euros. The Guardia was doubtful and was resolute to look it up on Google Earth. When they saw the size of the villa as well as what a fantastic location it was, they knew that something had to have been hidden somewhere in his claim. They eventually discovered that the actual selling price was so huge, he owed more than 7 million euros in back taxes. The villa was perhaps an unfortunate choice for such a scheme. It was easily identifiable thanks to what had been described as a phallic-shaped swimming pool on the grounds from Google Earth. Well, if you're going to be telling that big of a lie right to the taxman's face, you'd be better off not selling something that obvious. Number 5. Iraq's Blood Red Lake. Google Maps team found something disturbing when they were mapping an Iraqi lake, during which terrible images of the lake were exposed. The camera crew ventured to Iraq's Sadr city near Baghdad to map the area as part of its mission to capture the sites and geographical details of the world. Quite often, their trips go without much incident, but not for this one Scarlet Lake. The stretch of water, called Lago Vermelho to the locals, was found just outside the suburbs of Baghdad, perhaps in an area not as well populated. The lake runs through the city and is separated by sections of concrete and crossings. It was within one of these middle panels of water that showed the bright red color, which had the appearance of blood. After it was revealed, speculation was rife as to what had sparked the worrying shade. A source told the blog Boing Boing that he had been told that it was from a nearby slaughterhouse with animals' bodies dumped into the water, a claim which has not been verified. Others claim the color had been sparked by the water treatment process or perhaps sewage from the city. Yet, although the water appeared akin to a horror movie scene, there is rather a more natural explanation. It was believed that it had been caused by the Dunaliella algae, due to the higher salt concentration at the time. The presence of the algae can turn water to appear blood red due to the production of protective carotenoids in their cells. Now, when viewing the lake on Google Earth, the water has returned to its normal color, leaving the blood red lake to remain as one of Google's many interesting finds. Number 4. Swiss Field Hiders. It seems like a field of corn might be the ideal place to hide something that you don't want to be discovered. After all, the crop grows tall, and most people wouldn't think twice if they decided to start hiding something illegal among it. However, Swiss police were using Google Earth at one point to find an address for which they only had partial details. Right next to that address, they happened to spot a field that didn't look quite as innocent as it did from the ground. It was easy to spot the green marijuana plants on the 2-acre plantation inside the field. It was such a large operation that a total number of 16 people were arrested. 1.2 tons of marijuana was seized at the scene, which had a street value at the time to close to $2.5 million. The site in the northeastern state of Turgau turned out to be the center of operations for a large drug ring, which was busted by Google Earth. Well done! Number 3. Sunken plane. As with many mysteries solved by Google Earth, this one was done with the help of the internet. Speculation went wild in 2016 when the internet caught wind of what appeared to be a sunken plane at the bottom of Lake Harriet, Minnesota. Oh, and there was a second craft at the bottom of the nearby Lake Nokomis. When locals went to both lakes to investigate, there was no plane to be found. So what happened? Don't worry, Google's got you covered. As the question mounted online, the Google Earth team dispelled the rumor by explaining that the imaging system takes multiple shots in succession to put together the display we see on Google Earth. So when a fast-moving object like a plane that happens to pass through the lake and the satellite, it can blur into the image. As for why both planes appeared in the lakes? Coincidence, I guess. Number 2. Plane crash. On September 24, 2006, a small plane carrying 2 passengers went missing over the skies of Arizona. But here's the kicker, they didn't file a flight plan. So to this day, we have no idea what their route was, and the case was left unsolved for 3 years until a group of cyber detectives stumbled upon a website that describes this case. Adventure Science had a crack at it using Google Earth's telemetry data. Using pictures of a forest fire that occurred in Sedona, Arizona on the same day, they managed to compare the location of the blaze with the surrounding area, the most likely destination that the plane was headed. Lo and behold, they managed to track down the location of that ill-fated plane crash. While it didn't bring William and Marcy, the people who lost their lives, back, it's a great example of how public satellite imaging data can resolve years of uncertainty once people put their minds to it. Number 1. Atlantis. When Google Earth extended to the oceans in 2009, people were pretty excited to work out what might lie in the briny deep. Little did they know that they would find the fabled lost city of Atlantis. At least, that's what they thought. It all started when people found some lines that showed up in the bottom of the ocean off the coast of Spain and Africa. They just seemed too structured and man-made to be random ocean patterns, and it didn't hurt that the location was pretty close to where Plato described the legendary Atlantis civilization. Having whipped up such a mystery, the Google Earth team had to come forward and directly explain that no, it wasn't a sunken paradise, but rather the trail of the ships that mapped the seafloor. That all sounds pretty reasonable, but unsurprisingly, not everyone bought the claims. We all know that if there's a mystery, conspiracy theories can't be far behind. Well, you've reached the end of our list. We hope you've learned something new watching this video today. Tell us in the comments below which of these mysteries solved by Google Earth shocked you the most. Make sure to also subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to get updated when we upload more cool videos like this. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.